Your life is over. Congratulations! You have no idea what you've let yourself in for. That is unbelievable news. I'm so happy for you, but you are never going to sleep again. I can't wait to meet him or her. This is going to be the biggest change to your life. Welcome. I'm Adam. I'm not an experienced YouTuber. I'm not an experienced athlete. I am an average Joe who has intentions of competing in some fairly substantial endurance events, and I want to show everybody that it's possible to do that and be a new dad. In October 2020, I was out on a run and I received a phone call from my fiance. She was hysterical. I thought the house was burning down. In reality, we were expecting a baby the following June. Fast forward 12 weeks and we start being comfortable telling people. We're telling people we're pregnant. We're expecting our first child in June 2021. And the response from everybody we know, our friends, our family, was incredibly positive. But amongst those positive responses, there was always a peppering of stereotypical negativity. Your life is over. You're never going to sleep again. You have no idea what you've let yourself in for. The things you once prioritized as an individual go straight out the window when your sole responsibility is the well-being of this tiny human. And while absolutely I'm aware that is the case, Theo is my number one priority. Theo is my 5-week-old son who will be featuring in some of my future videos, I have no doubt. But the reality is I'm still determined to achieve the aspirational goals that I'm setting myself and always have done. And over this coming year, 2 years, however long it's going to be, I'm going to use this channel as a commitment to myself and anybody that wants to watch, to train, to compete in endurance events. I've watched numerous videos across the web, from the Global Triathlon Network, to the Ginger Runner, to the Vegan Cyclist, to Team Charles Barkley, endurance athletes competing or training for endurance events. And it always seems to be current athletes or ex-athletes or coaches, and very rarely is it your average Joe. And I am not an accomplished endurance athlete. I'm not a professional triathlete. I'm not an ultra runner. I am an average guy who's never really competed in any type of endurance event. And February last year, I got myself a bike and I started riding my bike. And shortly after that, I started doing a bit of running and found that actually my fitness was progressively increasing. And following on from that, I set myself a goal to start competing in events. And then COVID hit, and unfortunately the events all got cancelled. I set myself a goal to drive towards an endurance event in March 2021. And shock horror, that event got cancelled. But I did it anyway. I did it literally in my back garden, and I will talk through the outcome of that result and that homegrown event in a later video. But that really got me thinking, okay, so in a few short months, I have a baby due, and it is going to change my life forever. But can I continue to drive towards my own personal goals, my own personal aspirations? And what impact will having no sleep, prioritizing my time differently, still having a full-time day job have on those goals and aspirations? So within this channel, I'm going to be talking through my training for the event that I am next competing in. I'm going to be talking through the kit that I'm using, but I'm also going to be talking through my experience as a new father and what impact that is having on my training. We'll also be talking about kit that we're using to keep Theo occupied whilst training. So if I'm in the living room sitting on a turbo trainer, maybe we'll put Theo in a rocker that will keep him satisfied. We'll be talking through those pieces of kit as well, because fundamentally they at the moment are as important to my training as they are to keeping Theo happy. Over the coming weeks, months, years, we'll be looking at how I'm progressing in terms of my training as Theo is getting older, how it's becoming easier, one would hope, to allow time for training and allow time for recovery. We'll be looking at some of my nutrition, and we may be talking to some other friends and individuals that are going through a similar experience, who have young children and are training for events, or have had young children and have been really successful. This channel is going to be my warts and all account of how training for an endurance event as a new dad can go. And I have no idea how this is going to go. I have no idea whether in 6 months' time I'm going to throw the towel in, because I just am not getting any sleep. But over the past 5 weeks, largely due to the fact that Theo's mum is unbelievable, I have managed to keep up an element of training. And it's from this point on, from today, that really needs to start ramping up. So over the coming weeks, I'm going to be giving you weekly updates on how my training's gone, what activities I've been doing and the intensity of those activities, and how those activities have been impacted, and then also how that is going to progress over time. And when Theo perhaps becomes more akin to actually being able to sleep through the night, what impact that has. We'll be going through my Garmin account to have a look specifically at things like body battery, VO2 max, and my sleep and hydration. We'll also look at heart rate, speed, cadence, all of those factors to start looking at how I'm actually increasing my performance over time. We'll look at some of the kit that I'm using in terms of my bike, my clothing, my tech. We'll also include unboxings of any kit that I buy throughout this process, and make sure that I'm giving an open, honest review of how those pieces of equipment or clothing or whatever it might be are supporting. And next time I'll talk you through a brief history of my athletic career, or not. Am I an athlete? I've competed in one event once, so perhaps. And then we'll start looking at some of the data, the methods that I'm collecting said data, and then we'll start tracking that data over time to give a real indication. So that's it, my opening gambit, my initial welcome, my letter of intent, my commitment to myself and to any of you that are interested in following my journey. So see you in the next video.